carcass. Why does anybody go back?
And they revel in that. Furthermore, while the baseball fan talks about the sun-splashed fields and all that, in Cleveland they talk about the wind off the lake and your nose running till it freezes and you're just shaking in your boots. And just when you think the Browns are going to win, they call Red Right 88, and Brian Sipe throws an interception in the end zone, throwing to the wrong receiver at the wrong time, and then you walk out of the ballpark saying, I guess I'm still a Browns fan, but don't ask me why right now.
There are several heroic figures in this book, Terry, players who fought and lost and rose to fight again, but is it fair to say that former Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar dwarfs them all?
Oh, yes, I could have done an entire book of Bernie emails. Bernie grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, went to University of Miami in Florida, which actually was interesting. I always wanted to know why he went there. It turned out he wanted to go to Ohio State, wanted to go to Penn State, wanted to go to Notre Dame, and none of them wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So he went down to Miami in Florida, won a national title, was a really good player, got his degree in finance in 3 years, and then entered the draft early and kind of finagled, let everybody know he wanted to play for Cleveland. They pulled a trade, brought him up here. He ended up being a good player. And the more people in their emails use this phrase for Bernie, he chose us. And let's face it, after all the things you just saw with LeBron James, whatever, it was somebody chose Cleveland to live and, play in the snow and all that stuff. It meant so much. And, of course, Bernie, if you watched him play, was kind of like a giraffe trying to throw a watermelon. It was not pretty. But he would get this, he would probably explain that himself. In fact, he made fun of how unathletic he was. But he was, he was a remarkably accurate passer in his own weird way, his sidearm with all kinds of arms that like going in different directions. Very, very tough guy. And of course, in true Browns fashion, Bill Belichick came in here. That was before Bill Belichick won a whole bunch of Super Bowls and became an icon. Here he just looked like a young, egotistical coach who couldn't wait to cut Bernie Kosar in the middle of the 1993 season. Bernie went on to be a backup in Dallas. He actually has lived between here and Miami since. But anywhere he goes, he has signed more autographs. I mean, he and Bob Feller are like the two icons of Cleveland sports.
Now, is he aware of how important he still is to lots and lots of Browns fans?
I really think he is, and especially the last couple of years where he's been getting some treatment for these different, for his concussions and other problems. It helped him appreciate that he went through a really ugly divorce, a bankruptcy, and Cleveland did not abandon its native son at all. If anything, the business community rallied around him to help him. And when you watch him with people, he always says it's easier to be nice for 30 to 45 seconds to someone, pose for the picture, sign the autograph, hug the baby, than it is to act like a jerk, and then suddenly you're in the middle of this horrible stare down and standoff. And also, it's just nice with him. He comes from a steel working area, and he kind of, even though he got that degree in 3 years, he just sounds like he sort of walked out of the mill, and he doesn't seem to act like he's all that special, but he gets